Hi there, Chris Hanlon here from the Profit Wizard Show. This quick video is in response to Brendon Burchards' challenge, if you like, or question about what 5 tips would you give to really help somebody out there. Now, so these 5 tips are about, or for, the business owner who wants to build their business bigger, who wants to get to that next level and wants to do something with it. Maybe it's stagnating a little bit, maybe it's just like time that you've pushed it forward. So that's what this is all about. So here are my 5 tips. First tip, what I recommend that you do, first of all, is take a step back. Avoid the next shiny object. So that the obvious thing that most people do is that they go out and they go, oh, that looks good. Somebody's having success with Facebook. I'll just jump on there. Oh, that looks good. I've heard about that. I'll have a crack at that. Stop. Think. What happens with a lot of businesses is you start out with a bit of a strategy, and then the strategy sort of falls by the wayside as you jump onto these different things. What I want you to do is to go back to your strategy and go, right, what is it that our strategy is? So let's just talk about strategy for a second. There are 3 things that a business really wants to do, to simplify things. It's find clients, service clients, and communicate ongoing with clients. That's pretty much it. So you need a strategy to do that. For example, if you're the preeminent person in your industry, in your area, that might be your strategy. So everything you do must support that. So Facebook, would that support that? Maybe. Depends how good it is. You make sure that your communication in that is good and you have a very professional looking page, maybe. That sounds good. But if you're the preeminent expert and you've got the cheapest product prices in town, that's not supporting your strategy. Do you get what I mean? So let's go back to your strategy, have a look, what is your strategy, and just make sure that everything you're doing now aligns with it. That's step number 1, because if you miss that, anything you do is not going to have maximum impact. All right? So step number 2 is process map. All right? What do I mean by that? Okay, so process mapping is to find out how your processes impact one another. So you want to get a list of all your processes and you want to say, this one impacts this one impacts this one, da 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 da, and you want to make sure that each of your processes support one another. This is what we call synergistic business processes. So why would you do that? Okay, so most of us will have processes that build up over time. And quite often those processes do not work to support one another. Let me give you a really basic example from a bigger business. The marketing team have gone out and they've made a fantastic campaign that's given them huge amounts of sales, but they forgot to talk to the manufacturing guys. And the manufacturing guys can't actually fulfill all those orders that they're suddenly swamped with because they can't make that many things in time, and so the whole thing's a disaster. Right, so that's an exaggerated one. Often what is more likely is that you will generate leads for certain customers in a certain way, and you'll pass them on to the salesperson, and he'll be oblivious to how you generated them, what the interest was, what the offer was, all that sort of thing, and give the wrong sales pitch to those people. All right? He's doing the best he can do. The lead generation is doing the best it can do, but they're not supporting one another. There's no communication there. So process mapping allows you to look at these processes that impact one another and determine what they are, and then make sure that they're meshing and those lines of communication are there so that the flow on is seamless for the customer experience coming through and that they get the best out of it. Hope that makes sense. I know that's really quick. I'm writing a book on this stuff and that is a big topic, but if you do that even a little bit, it'll make a big difference. Okay. Number 3 we're up to. So this is our first business multiplier, and that's lead generation. If you want to improve your business, build your business, you've got to have a look at your lead generation. Lead generation is how do you get prospects or people out in the marketplace to put their hand up and say, I want what you've got. All right? How do you do that? So look at what you're doing now. You may be advertising in magazines, you may be advertising in newspaper, you may even be advertising on TV, you might have online ads, you might have whatever. Okay, there's a gazillion things. I want to say a few things about this. You know, make sure first of all that it's aligned with your strategy. Okay, so that's like this process is synergistic. You've got to make sure that whatever lead generations you're using now aligns with your strategy. That's number one. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you can do more than one. You need to multiply how many lead generation things you can do and have them as automated as possible. Why? Because it adds stability to your business. If you are totally reliant on one or two streams of leads coming in, then your business is unstable. It's at risk of being interrupted by external forces. So a lot of companies in the past did everything through telemarketing in the US, and then there was some changes to the laws over there, and a lot of businesses lost leads. Their business sort of dried up. They had to scramble to find other ways of getting leads. Don't let that be you. Go out and have a direct mail, go and have an online, go and have some advertising, classified ads or magazine advertising. Go and get some of them. Each of those things. Now, if one works way better than the other, but the other's still working, don't drop it and focus on this one. Keep them both going. They're both working, they're both bringing you clients, keep them both going. All right, so that was number 3. Number 4, we're up to business multiplier number 2, is conversion. So once you've got the leads, you've got the person putting their hand up saying, I want what you've got, how do you turn them into a client? Well, the way to do that is to make sure that you're talking in the same language as what you got them to put their hand up in. So if you're talking to a certain demographic, a certain age group perhaps, you may have got their interest with a certain phrase or a certain hook in your advertisement. You want to make sure that when you get to the conversion process, that conversation is continuing on. And you may have younger groups, the younger group demographic or whatever, that are hooked on a different reason to the same product. And when they come to the conversion process, you want to make sure you can continue that conversation on. You don't want to mix them up, or you don't want to have a bland, one-size-fits-all conversation when you're getting offers from different places with different hooks. Does that make sense? It's really important that you do this. And this is, again, the synergistic business process. You've got to make sure that your conversion links up, matches, and continues the same experience and conversation through from the lead generation. So conversion, really important. The more you can do about getting that right, and if your conversion's quite bad, okay, first of all, you need to measure it. You need to know how many people do get into the conversion process. So the conversion process might be a sales letter, or it might be a salesperson, or something like that, okay? So how many people does the salesperson talk to, and how many people sign up? That's your conversion rate. You need to know that. Now, if it's low, you need to look at why it's low, and maybe you need to, buy coffee or dinner or something for some of the clients that said no, or prospects that said no, and pick their brain and say, why did you say no? We're just trying to fix our sales process. Why did you say no? I'll buy you dinner. Tell me. And they'll generally tell you. So you need to know. All right, so that's conversion. Tip number 5, last one, is business multiplier number 3. And it's really, really important. I mean, if you're going to put your business leaps and bounds ahead without spending a whole lot of money, this is the one that's really going to do it for you. Now, having said that, you still need to do all these things beforehand, all right? But this is the one that's really going to hammer it for you. And what that is customer maximization. What do I mean by that? Maximizing the spend or profit out of your customer. And there's a few ways to do that. What you want to do effectively is get your customers to spend more often, bigger packages, additional products, that sort of thing, okay? And stay with you longer. So you want them to buy more frequently and for a longer period of time, okay? So one of the things you need to do about that is you need to regularly communicate with your customers. All right? You need to talk to them. A newsletter is a good way of doing that, or online social media, depending on who your customers are, your demographic, how technical savvy, whatever. You know your customers better than anybody else. You should know how to talk to them. But you need to continually communicate with them. You need to be looking for things that you can offer them that will add value So you might have somebody else's product, a joint venture with somebody you know, someone local, and you say, wow, that will work really well for my guys, and sell them that and take a bit of a profit. Okay, so anything that will help and build up that profit. So there are your 5 tips. Let's just run over them one more time. We've got to first of all look at your strategy. Then we want to look at your process mapping. And we want to look at your lead generation, make sure that you've got a variety of ways of getting leads. Then you want to look at conversion, make sure the sales conversation is building on that prospecting from the lead generation. And finally, you want to work on customer maximization and getting more sales, more offer, and for a larger amount of money from the customers you already got, because they are money in the bank. It's not going to cost you as much to get, you don't have to get new customers. You just need to communicate with them and make more out of them. Okay, I hope that's been useful for you. And I hope, Brendon, that you can give us some tips on what I've shared with you. That'd be great. I don't expect to win any prizes and trips to the US since I'm in New Zealand. I know that's a fair way to go, but I wouldn't say no. Anyway, have a great day. And